In the year 1997, the future is in chaos and turmoil. Mankind is on the brink of extinction. Brave survivors band together and build a time displacement apparatus to receive a signal from a parallel future. This transmission is the Vundacast.
There's one team that kicks ass. They're assembled. They're the Vundacast. Never back down from the brass. Always start first. Never finish last. Had Mike Steed. Been too fast. Oh no, they're out of gas. It's okay there. Just a podcast. They're the greatest. We're the Vundacast.
Welcome to the Vundacast, the official podcast of Vundablog.com, the home of whatever. The podcast that knows that if you're gonna turn into a Mecha Godzilla, you start off firing your rocket fingers. That's not your, last-ditch move. That's your opening Halo move so that you can thin out the competition. Fucking idiots.
Your
who
intros.
write movies. These are horrible intros?
No, it's great. Let's do it.
That was Danielle. I am Steven. We are your hosts of the Vundacast. And we are currently petting Morty's tummy.
We're soothing the savage beast.
Morty, the most... He's probably, we were saying, he's the most, cinematic of all our dogs.
But unfortunately, he's also the most neurotic of all of our dogs. I'm not saying something, seeing as how we have a chihuahua, almost a full-blood chihuahua here.
Yeah.
Morty's he's a very neurotic dog. He doesn't like his face being touched or his hands being touched. He
Or
doesn't
his
like
teeth.
Or his teeth.
Or hygiene or
Yeah,
hair.
he doesn't like those things.
He doesn't like his kibble unless we sprinkle it with cheese.
Or hand feed it to him.
He just wants to be spoiled so bad.
Yeah, and then when we did an experiment today with the dogs, we let them out without a leash to get into the car, and Morty was the only dog that decided he had to run down the street as fast as he could, but he stopped when I called his name, so, I know that he's learning and he's trying. Morty's just Morty. Morty's very special.
But he did run 3 houses down the street all by himself, so
Yes.
good job, Morty.
But he's such an adorable puppy. He really does look like he belongs in a Little Rascals sequel.
And he's got a little white chest, and a little white fur,
Little white tip
little
on
white
his tail.
socks on his
Don't touch those paws.
Yeah, touch them. I don't care. So, me and Danny left the dogs at home and went out to a cinematic film that Steven Spielberg released
Well, first...
in the movie theaters, because that's where movies matter.
Exactly, according to Steven Spielberg. So, before we get into this, how are you?
I'm good, Danielle. How are you?
Kind of had a stressful day,
Oh, yeah.
so, I'm...
So you're trying to make this a running thing?
So-
You can make us humans on the show or something?
Yeah, I think we need to,
Are you trying to make us humans? No!
No, we're not humans, we're just
I'm a
robots.
robot.
Oh, I'm sorry.
When I get on those CAPTCHA things and they try to get me,
Yeah.
they always catch me and they're like, oh no, he's a robot.
He is a robot.
Okay, so yeah, it was a stressful day.
It's a
Fluttery
stressful
day.
It's a fluttery day.
Fluttery chest type of day.
Yeah, no, I kind of woke up just feeling, stressed out, and then I didn't get any better from there, but it's okay.
Yeah, so we decided to just escape and go
Yeah.
to the movies.
And go to the movies, and we went to
And
go
say
see...
fuck it. And ironically, the movie was about people escaping
Escaping.
shitty lives.
Exactly.
So,
We're on express elevator to hell. Going down.
2, 1, mark.
so what topics do we talk about on the Vundacast?
We talk about whatever we like, but mostly we talk about pop culture. We talk about Star Wars.
Mira, who's Snow White?
She's supposed to be some kind of consultant. Apparently, she saw an alien once.
Whoopie fucking do.
Movies we've seen.
Don't lie, all we talk about is aliens.
Oh yeah, right.
All we talk about is aliens. All we talk about is bringing things back to Star Wars. All we ever do is bring things back to 1997. Don't fuck around.
Yeah, I guess he's right. He found us out.
In your face.
Stop selling us out, Steven. Stop telling the truth. I don't want to hear the truth, man.
Did you do it? Did you create Kylo Ren?
You opened yourself to the dark side for a pair of pretty eyes. For a pair of pretty eyes. For a pair of pretty eyes.
Danielle, you are not alone.
Neither are you, listeners.
Mondays at radiate.fm with the Vundacast.
Chewie. We're home.
The Vundacast, which is on Mondays at Radiate. Hey Danielle,
Yes.
co-host of the Vundacast, co-workers. How many nipples does Kylo Ren have?
Well, only 2, but they are glorious.
To find out how glorious they are, tune in Mondays, radiate.fm. Ray Love all year long till episode 9 comes out and beyond. In your
Check it out. I am the ultimate badass. State of the badass art. You do not want to fuck with me.
Hey, Radiate listeners, you should tune in to us on TuneIn, because the podcast is also there. You should stitch yourself to us on Stitcher, because we're down. And if you want to Google Play with us, our podcast is also on Google Play. But me, I just use iTunes to subscribe to my own podcast.
Great. This is fucking great, man. Now what the fuck are we supposed to do? We're some real pretty shit now, man.
You finished?
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now?
So, the irony,
We thought it would be right up our alley, but
little did we know.
I guess we just wanted to do our first thoughts because we just saw the movie, so it's pretty fresh in our minds.
Yeah, it's pretty fresh. And usually when we do, I notice when we do like fresh, God, my nose is stuffed. When we do like fresh podcasts, like right off the movie, I feel like we never, since we're still, I'm at least still processing it so much, like we never get as in depth or as eloquent as we can when we have at least 24 hours.
Oh,
to
of course, but I think
about things.
But that's why I kind of just wanted to just do a fresh little review. Especially since the truth of the matter is I don't know if I want to spend that much time beyond this and like a couple days thinking about this movie.
My name's Wade Watts. My dad picked that name because it sounded like a superhero's alter ego, like Peter Parker or Bruce Banner. But he died when I was a kid, my mom too. And I ended up here. Sitting here in my tiny corner of nowhere. There's nowhere left to go. Nowhere. Except the Oasis. A whole virtual universe. People come to the Oasis for all the things they can do. But they stay because of all the things they can be.
Can you feel this?
Yeah. It's the only place that feels like I mean anything. The Oasis was the brainchild of James Halliday.
Hello. If you're watching this, I'm dead. I created a hidden object, an Easter egg. The first person to find the egg will inherit $500 billion and total control of the Oasis itself.
Who is this Parzival, and how the hell is he winning?
Find him.
This isn't just a game. I'm talking about actual life and death stuff.
The Oasis, the world's most important economic resource. It's nothing less than a war for control of the future.
Welcome to the rebellion, Wade.
Like many of you,
I only came here to escape. But I found something much bigger than just myself. Are you willing to fight?
Help us save the oasis.
Now, what's up? That was this dope trailer. Oh my god. The DeLorean. Oh my god. Iron Giant. You know, everything's already spoiled in the trailer, basically.
Exactly.
Like, there's no...
All the cool shit.
Freddy Krueger's in the trailer, Jason Voorhees, all the coolest shits, and Batman's in the trailer. Come on.
But okay.
Spoilers, spoilers. These are the spoilers. Spoilers!
Cut. So, you got the trailer. You got our spoilers warning. These will be spoilery thoughts. I don't know if this is a review or just, I guess, a collection of thoughts and our feelings about the movie.
So, one.
Here we go.
Can I preface spoilers with one thought?
Sure. Okay.
For, I think, the last 3 years, perhaps, I have had people in my life
tell me that you have to
tell
read this
me
book.
you should read Ready Player One.
We actually
Tell
have
me you should know
multiple
Ready Player
copies
One.
of Ready Player One.
I got a copy of Ready Player One off of a loot crate I ordered. Just gave me like the thickest,
and then
giantest copy, and then I got a Christmas gift, Ready Player One, and
Very
just
nice.
so many praises.
Yes.
About Ready Player One.
Yes.
And I knew at a certain point that the movie was coming out. So at a certain point, this movie was my excuse not to read the book, because I'm like, I'll let Spielberg tell me what to think about this shit first.
Well, because one,
he's Spielberg. Come on.
Yeah, it was directed by Spielberg, and the screenplay was co-written by the author Ernest Cline. Also, the other co-writer is Zach Penn.
Whoa, and he's a great screenwriter. He wrote Thor.
He helped write
He wrote
Avengers,
X-Men films, right? He wrote
The
X-Men
Incredible
movies?
Hulk. Let's see some of his.
He wrote
credits.
Thor, I believe.
Yes, he wrote. He wrote the Avengers. He did the story for the Avengers. He did the screenplay for Incredible Hulk, X-Men: The Last Stand.
Oh no, not that one.
Elektra. Ooh,
not that one, Zach Penn.
When did you say he was a great writer?
Maybe I'm thinking of the guy who wrote Thor. He's a great writer.
Fantastic Four, the video game.
Because the guy that wrote Thor also wrote everything, but he's the great writer.
Inspector Gadget.
Ooh, Zach Penn. No.
Or PCU.
That too.
The Last Action Hero story in '93.
Oh, but but they changed it.
That was a
better.
long time. Exactly, that was a long time ago.
Damn, that's why I loved him, because Last Action Hero was shit.
Whoa, guys.
Zach
well,
Penn trouble.
that is Zach Penn. So he's got some stuff people watch, but would they call them good movies? I don't know. But the point being that, really and truthfully, the setup for this is all you need to know is that this was written.
Oh, who I was thinking about was Zach Stentz.
Oh, okay.
Who wrote ready for this fucking filmography as a writer?
Okay.
Okay. He started out. He wrote Agent Cody Banks. He wrote The Twilight Zone on episode. He wrote episodes of Andromeda. He wrote Fringe, 4 episodes. Terminator, Sarah Connor Chronicles. Then here comes the hits: Thor 2011, X-Men First Class, and The Flash. The dopest episode of The Flash.
Thank you for that tangent about Zach Stentz, right?
I just wanted to clarify my Zachs.
Okay.
And I'm a Zach Stentz guy, not a Zach Penn guy.
Yeah, exactly. Well, okay, so this was co-written by the author Ernest Cline and Zach Penn, who has such classic films such as PCU and that other one, whatever, and directed by Steven Spielberg. Now, of course, it's
director of Schindler's List and like.
It's become this kind of idea that a Steven Spielberg movie is going to just be like a knock in the park. For the last however many years we have known Spielberg at the height of his career, he has really not done a movie.
He has had flops. He's had flops. 1945.
Yeah.
There's been a handful of films that have slipped through the cracks. But a Steven Spielberg movie usually guarantees you at least a $30 million to $20 million opening movie.
Exactly.
And you're gonna at least make $100 million by the end of
And
the run.
a lot of the BFG was kind of a flop, but like
that was a big ass flop. Yeah.
But the thing about it is, what's interesting.
That was a big ass flop. That was a big fucking flop.
The interesting thing about his flops is that even his flops get a lot of critical praise and people find them interesting. For the most part, a Steven Spielberg movie is a movie you want to see, even if it's just once. So, you know, and then he's also off of a high of The Post, which got nominated for a bunch of Oscars and had Meryl Streep and Tom Hanks and was a big old deal. So, we know Steven Spielberg. He's famous director.
Even though The Post is kind of like movie Oscar
of course.
liberal porn.
Well, but that's,
you know what I mean?
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. Steven Spielberg is kind of known for two things.
He plays to an audience?
He's known for, like, science.
God. This one has 75% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. Steven. Okay, focus. He's known...
This is about the movie.
Yeah. Are you saying Ready Player One has 75%?
Yes, Ready Player One is a sweetly nostalgic thrill ride that neatly encapsulates Spielberg's strengths while adding another solidly engrossing adventure.
Yeah.
To his filmography.
So, from reading that statement, it just sounds like they're saying, you'll have fun for 5 minutes, and it's Steven Spielberg. That's great. Yeah. So, like, basically, like, Steven Spielberg has kind of become a name in doing those big Oscar-type movies that we know are going to win Oscars or get nominated for Oscars. And he's also known for doing fun sci-fi things like Jurassic Park and Minority Report. Minority Report is one of my favorite movies. I really enjoy that movie a lot. And I actually even found AI very interesting, even though it's very depressing. I liked AI. I don't, Steven Spielberg is Steven Spielberg. He's a fucking legend, dude. Like, I'm not going to knock the cred of the good stuff that he's done, but I'm also not going to, unlike these critics, lick his butt for a movie that I
come on, lick it
was shockingly really just okay. I went into this movie, and just a quick synopsis. Ready Player One is the story of a guy named Wade Watts who lives in a world where basically reality sucks. More than reality sucks now. Like reality is just a terrible, just kind of dystopian nightmare.
I.e., people have no money.
Yeah.
People live in poverty.
Yes.
And corporations.
Lots of people live in
have
poverty.
All the resources in control.
This kind of the same way our world is
Drones
now.
Run everything.
Just taken to a times 10 is sort of what I was getting from the story. And the way that everyone escapes, the way that everyone's kind of become complacent with this sort of suffering is because the Oasis exists. And the Oasis is this huge multi-platform gaming thing, RPG, MMORPG, social media video game that everyone can just kind of be in and live in. And so there is a very secretive creator of the game named Halliday, just his last name, and he basically leaves the ultimate Easter egg in the film. In the game, the Oasis, and anybody who gets this Easter egg will win $500 billion and control of the entirety of the Oasis. So this is obviously big stakes. This is like winning the ultimate lottery, and everyone's playing this game in the real world, basically. So the whole goal, it becomes kind of like an adventure story. They have to find it. He makes friends along the way, etc. So this is kind of the synopsis of this movie. And, obviously it sold itself, when we first saw the trailers, it sold itself on the fact that, you were like, oh my god, is that Voltron? Is that Mega Suit Gundam?
It sold itself
with
number one on, we're going to see the DeLorean Tokyo Drift.
Okay.
That was the number one selling point.
That was a selling point.
In the first portion was, this is a movie, it didn't even show you humans at first.
No, it didn't.
It showed you, you're going to see a fucking DeLorean Tokyo Drift, you're going to see an Iron Giant standing majestically next to a ninja.
You're going to see Freddy Krueger get punched
shot in the face.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It definitely, immediately...
It sold itself on all that
of that
extra shit.
Yes.
First.
Now, okay, and full preface, I have not read the book, so I will still read the book. I don't want to write it off completely, but honestly, based on the fact that Ernest Cline co-wrote the screenplay, it doesn't excite me as much for the book. And I really feel like if he signed off on this, then obviously he feels like this comes close to what he was trying to convey. And I'm not sure. I am sure I did not buy what he was selling.
It felt weird to me that the trailer was selling a movie where the video game world is like the magical freedom. Like they were selling it like Avatar. Like
Yeah.
this is where you go to be free and like walk again and live. And then the way the movie presented itself in the first 30 minutes, it just like depressed me and made me feel like I'm watching people forcibly put themselves in the Matrix.
I wonder if the issue is because right now in our current political climate in the United States, I see a lot of people trying to, or we're having a problem with, or trying to escape from the horrors of what is going on in our political system, in our government.
Just checking out.
People are checking out. People are struggling every day. People are also actively engaged, but it is extremely difficult.
And it's okay
and
to
I've
check
noticed,
out.
and I've kind of noticed. Wait, can we like one thought at a time? You conserve your thoughts. If you're gonna forget them, write them down. I know you have a problem with that, but conserve your thoughts. Like, because you're like jumping from leapfrogging to leapfrog.
Sorry, I was trying to talk.
You're a battle toad.
I was trying to talk in you.
I know, you're trying to talk in me, but talk in me about what you're doing. We're arguing right now. How are arguing on the podcast? Okay, so there's like our current political climate. I feel like, last year after the election happened, people were really fired up all the time, and people are still really fired up. People are still fighting, and I'm not saying that. And like Steven said, it's okay for people to
It's okay to check out if you can't
check
handle
out.
shit, if you feel like, you're getting near the edge and shit.
But there's this sort of fine line between taking a break and
Giving up.
Which I'm seeing a lot of, like, even myself, I feel sort of emotionally exhausted by what happened. And and so it's just more the idea that, like, right now it feels like we have a world where, kind of like this world, where people are, something very telling that the character says in, like, the first 5 minutes is, like, people stopped trying to make the world a better place and just tried to...
Stop trying to fix the world.
Stop trying to fix the world
it.
and just trying to survive through all the worst stuff. And I think that just hit too close to home for me, because that kind of feels like what's happening now.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like we're all waiting for Mueller to get that fucking arrest warrant, for somebody to do something, it feels like, even with all the protesting and the anger and stuff, it all feels like we're waiting for November 6, 2018. Like, right now, we're just trying to weather a fucking storm. And hopefully, November 6, 2018, when midterm elections come, we're gonna see a huge fucking windswept change, or at least the beginnings of a major change. But right now, it just feels like we're all kind of riding the storm. So this movie, and it's kind of like, oh yeah, everyone's just riding a storm, and now they escape into a giant RPG video game social media outlet. It feels too close to home, and so I found myself not getting enthralled in the world of the Oasis, but more going, wait a second, your world is a horrible nightmare, someone should try to fix this. Is this movie about you guys trying to fix your world outside of this? And the answer to my question was yes and no.
Or finding
mostly
a way...
no.
What I was hoping they were going to figure out how to do, which would have been the magic trick, would have been to somehow use the Oasis to solve the problems that are in the world, using the connections people can make to fix people's lives.
But see, the problem is that all feels way too cerebral for what this movie ended up being.
Yep.
And it just felt... my first thought that I came out of it, and I tweeted this, I said, this movie is an old man's dream camouflaged by new technology. And so despite all of the flashy VR, CG, oh my god, look how many licensed characters we can get sitting in one room kind of thing, I basically walked out of this movie and the message felt like, hey, fellow kids, why don't you get off those phones every now and again? Because basically what ends up happening in the movie is, you know, there's two major giant corporations. And one of them is trying to control the Oasis, and they are very ruthless, and to the point where they're willing to actually kill people in the real world and do terrible things in the real world. And so of course this is what Wade and all of his friends that he collects along the way are trying to stop, and they do stop them. They figure out the message of the creator, which the message is, the real world is like the thing, man, and the Oasis
the only
is
place
like
they have like
that's
sandwiches,
the only like
bro.
that's the only place they have like sandwiches, bro. Like basically, it's like, okay, the main character Wade Watts is doing the reverse journey of the creator of the Oasis, Halliday. So Halliday was a shut-in. He was very focused on escaping reality constantly and totally and utterly. And to the point where he literally didn't live a life with friends and with loved ones. He shut everyone out, and he became more and more kind of, you know, hermited into this game. And then when he died, his whole idea was he left this message of, you can't be fucking hermited into this game. And so Wade Watts does the reverse. He starts off, his character's name is Percival. Percival is
a knight who
did everything by himself, find the Holy Grail by himself, and of course all of this is explained very expositionally in the movie. Like there's so much just exposition.
No, but the layer of a filmmaker adapting a book about video games,
yes,
into a movie.
Yeah,
he didn't quite capture the idea of creating a movie.
Yeah.
He just kind of leaned into, well, it's a book, I'll just voice over and just
pour
out the exposition.
No, and
as
also,
hard as
I
we
think
can.
part of the problem, too, is it appeared like there is so much, maybe that's what makes the book better, is there is so much world building to be done in this story. If you don't have this guy constantly telling you what's going on, you're going to be fucking lost, and you're going to be like, what the hell? And it just kind of felt like they never escaped that. They were constantly expositing, whatever the word is. Expositing, thank you. They were constantly telling story, cha-ching for you. They were constantly telling the story to us as the story was happening. And what ended up the consequence being that I was not emotionally connected to this plot at all. And so at the end, so Wade Watts does the reverse journey of the creator. He finds friends, he finds love, and then at the end he realizes, oh, the message is like not to own this all by myself, but to like share it. And he ends up sharing ownership of the Oasis with his 5 friends that he now nicknamed the High Five, and that's basically the movie. And then he gets a girlfriend. That's basically the movie. That is literally the movie summed up completely, the spoilers. So, like, here's part of the problem for me. I thought that this movie was actually supposed to be more an allegorical tale about ownership of pop culture and ownership of
society,
of storytelling, and how storytelling belongs to everybody, and the Oasis is all those stories that we think about and mean something to us. And then I thought the message of the movie and the story was going to be at the end, when the guy's like, oh, this all belongs to you, he was going to say, no, this belongs to everybody, and like sign away the Oasis to the world. You know what I mean? Like, I thought he was going to like eliminate the idea that the Oasis belongs to any one person and belong to everyone. And I thought that it was going to be the idea that these stories, these pop culture things, Star Wars and all these things, like, they don't belong to major corporations. They belong to us. These stories belong to us, you know? And that is not the... And I think they had an attempt at that message, but I really think that it became far more muddled and lost it, because what it ended up being was another message about, well, you should find friends and loved ones, which is a good message. And I know Spielberg loves messages like that. He loves to do messages, and plus he loves his fatherly plots. So of course you know, Halliday is sort of a father figure to Percival
totally.
along the way, kind of giving him these messages to these characters of like, you know, find the key and the thing, and even just the simple idea of
kiss a girl.
Yeah, even just the simple idea of like them. There's a really interesting kind of interesting, but honestly, is sort of disturbing to me. Is that Halliday's entire brain, his entire life, has been documented and recorded for, like, basically they downloaded his brain into this game, and people can access it for clues. So they spent...
Well, it's not even that. It's he created it.
Yeah. So
he
downloaded his
decided
brain.
the version of his life.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah,
That he thought.
Yeah.
And he left it all there as the
That's right.
framework of the clues.
Yes.
For his game. So he hid
he
his whole
yeah.
life. But see, the thing is too is also the ego that your entire life and everything that you specifically like
should be picked apart
should
and lauded.
everyone should love.
Exactly.
So because Danielle is awesome, I now need to watch
Last
4
Jedi.
seasons of Roswell.
Oh yeah.
How many seasons of Roswell?
3.
Oh, I'm giving myself an extra season. I didn't need that.
I wish. No. Yeah, it's like it felt at once disturbing, the idea that like people are picking through someone's personal, like, and I got kind of the message of what they were saying. Like, if you want to discover what happened in someone's life, you should go through what, you know, their experiences. But it all felt like, I guess, and I'm not trying to be that person, but maybe I am trying to be that person. It all felt kind of like this white male who didn't have a girl, whose major thing and problem in his life is he never kissed a girl, and that was his major struggle.
Well,
who became...
and his parents are dead.
No, I'm not talking about White Watson. I'm talking about Halliday.
Oh, Halliday.
This white male,
super smart.
This super smart white
lives
male
in a giant
who
attic.
became a trillionaire, who's basically, the message is, it doesn't matter how rich he was because he didn't have love, so it didn't matter. And it's kind of like, but then it's juxtaposed with this real suffering of a lot of people.
No, and then also
and like,
it's that he's the thing is that pissed me off is that he's not only a trillionaire, okay, who he couldn't find love, but he's also a super genius, and in the entire movie, he's like totally revered. Like, even Artemis, okay?
Yeah.
Who has been like horrible, her life has been ruined because of her father's hypothetical addiction to this game.
Yeah.
Okay?
Exactly.
There's no sense of like, oh no.
Yeah.
This man is responsible for this.
There's no
to a degree.
There's
he
no...
let this game get out of control.
Exactly. Like,
when people were trying to rein him in,
like,
he said no.
Exactly. Like, the one guy that
he has no ownership.
The one guy that tried to rein him in, fucking, like, or I don't know if he was trying to rein him in. If that
or sell out harder. That was
vague.
That
was part of the problem too. Some of these parts of these stories were too vague. Was his partner trying to make it more corporate or less corporate? Was he trying, like, and this is the issue. It felt like at no point when they were criticizing Halliday for his mistakes, they weren't criticizing Halliday for his mistakes. They were basically going, oh, poor Halliday, he's so sad and alone. He was so quirky, nobody understood him. Exactly, no one understood him. He was so sad and alone. How genius he was. Even at the end of the movie, he's revered as, like, the guy.
He's the prophet.
He's the
because
prophet.
He was the creator.
And he's the one who teaches...
He's the white creator. He's the sole creator.
Exactly. And then he teaches Wade... And he's the one who teaches Wade Watts to interact with his friends. But Wade Watts doesn't
From beyond the grave.
Yeah, from beyond the grave. And, like, but Wade Watts still taking everything he's saying, like, fucking hanging on his every word. And, like, crying in emotion at, like, this guy being the guy. And I just felt so uncomfortable with that idea. Like, and I really didn't like it. And, like... And, you know, I mean, aside, like, so yeah, it really did start to feel, and exactly, like, everything that this guy liked is the only thing in the world.
That
so
matters,
so every other,
now,
everybody,
for $1 trillion.
Exactly, so everybody, so like, this is the thing, if the message was for the movie to be like, these corporate properties that are really stories that are being told, or folktales, belong to everyone, right? Aside from the cultural folktales we tell in ourselves outside of it, that would be a good message. But the message No, instead became the Oasis is like everything that fucking like he believes in and loves. Like at the end of the day, so much of what has happened to these people has been shaped around a culture of Halliday. That's my thing, is that if the story was about, okay, and maybe it is, because people are picking their avatars based on things that they like, but so much of what these people like has been shaped by this man, this one person, and it's really kind of, like, it's upsetting, because it feels like, you know, it's one guy. It's not 50 guys. It's not 20 guys. It's not people of color or women or, like, different stories, different cultures.
It's one old white
guy
and the
who
old
really
white
liked
ass
the
movies
80s.
he likes.
Who really liked the 80s.
Where were the references to fucking house party, son? Where was the house
Where
party?
was Fresh
Kid and
Prince
playing
of Bel-Air?
haircuts.
Where was anything?
You know, what the
like,
fuck?
it just felt...
Where was Black Panther, bitch?
It felt... whether or not they understood what they were doing, it just felt so disturbingly... white-centric and egocentric in that way that they were telling story. And if the message had been about these white stories being very corporate and they need to be spread amongst the folk, I could kind of see that message being more palatable, but it really, no, because at the end of the day, what happened was 5 people took control of the Oasis, and their ultimate solution was to just turn the Oasis off Tuesdays and Thursdays, so Wade Watson's girlfriend could fuck, I guess. And really, and I'm sitting here going...
I think we're missing... I think I finally understand what we're missing.
What are we missing?
So, see, we were trying to win the game. Alright? We were trying to solve all the problems. We were trying to get the win for the game the way the people in the Oasis were trying to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
Alright? Mm-hmm. When in fact we have to do like the game adventure, and we have to not play the game and just appreciate the creator and his Easter egg and all the little shit the creator sprinkled in for us to Easter egg and fan about. And that is what we actually have to appreciate here, and not
a story.
any of the like all the corporate and like so society stuff that was there. That was just like the CGI graphics. We're not supposed to talk about how pretty or fucked up that is. We're just supposed to thank the creator.
But then...
And appreciate the creator for thinking of it and putting it in for us.
And that's... Yeah. And I no thanks. And like... I just... Yeah, like there's some really horrific stuff that... The problem... One of the problems I have with the movie is that I at no point felt any real emotional connection. There was one moment I felt an emotional connection to the film beyond what was going on, and that was when Artemis, who, you know, the co-star, she's the female character, she looks at him and goes, "Don't you understand?" And in the game, she's like, "Don't you understand this is the real world? My father died in a loyalty center." And loyalty centers in the story are very disturbing. They're basically places, they're debt prisons. They're debtors' prisons. You know, and if you know human history, we've had debtors' prisons forever. Like, those have existed forever. Some people want to bring them back. Australia was one giant debtors' prison. Now it is a whole continent of people.
Now it's just a neighborhood. We call it debtors' prison.
A lot of a lot of indentured servitude in America was due to debting and to being debtors' prisons and money owed. So debtors' prisons are not new. So basically, what happens is these corporations get enough power, and that's another problem too. Is that at first I thought, okay, their world building is good, but then the more I pick apart it, the more I really the world building. And I hope this is different in the book, but in the movie, the world building is still on the fucking ground. In that some parts of this are so like world built, and then other parts are so lazy. Like at one point in the beginning of the movie, he says something about a corn syrup drought, and I'm like, that makes no fucking sense. Does he mean that there was no corn? Because that's where corn syrup comes from. And it felt like this lazy 12-year-old way of building a science fiction world. And I'm sitting here going, this is a guy that's sold 1 million copies of a book. He co-wrote this with fucking Zach Penn. What does a corn syrup drought mean, man? Like, that's a whole thing. And so, yeah, sometimes the world building felt really thin on the ground. And so, yeah, so like, okay, so here are these debtors' prisons. Getting back to what I was saying. These debtors' prisons where people go to pay off their credits that they owe for sinking so much into this game. And people die in there. That's horrifying. And when you look at the debtors' prisons, they're blocks that they stick people in. They can't move. They get an obligatory 10-minute break. I don't know how many times a day, maybe once. And they can't move. They're trapped in this fucking thing.
And they're forced to play.
And they're forced to play in the system.
And do what they're told.
And do what they're told, which is mostly like menial tasks, I guess, getting things for the corporation or whatever.
Or helping, I don't know.
But people die in these fucking cubes. And that one point when the girl says that felt emotionally resonant to me. But then the rest of the movie is spent trying to kind of gloss over the horror of that. Even when Artemis herself gets trapped in a debtor's prison, it doesn't feel as horrifying as it should be.
No, it shouldn't.
Like, there are... Every time you see the faces... I mean, every time you see the people walking to and from the different debtors' cubes, you never see their faces. I wanted to see the horror. I wanted to see... This is a nightmare. This is not cute. Like, this is... And then it goes into a whole other complicated idea of... Are the police and the government... Is there a government to speak of? Are the police...
Well, the police just show up in the last 4 seconds of the movie.
Exactly.
Just cops randomly
Like,
show up to
cops-
save the day.
But then you'll start questioning...
When it seems
wait a
like there's
second.
no cops ever.
Exactly. Well, you start questioning... Wait, the cops show up at the end and arrest the corporate guy, but the corporate guy's allowed to run his own kind of deading prisons where he's kidnapping people
And has dead cops that come out.
to death, and has dead
then
cops
she
that
was
arrest
in, like,
them,
a resistance
and
cell.
and yet at the end of the movie, when this fucking corporate crone who owns, by the way, to remind you, the second largest corporation in the world, the cops arrest him? Why wouldn't they tell him, who would you like us to shoot, Mr. Corporate Man? I don't even remember his name. He was so unimportant. Oh, no. Sorrento.
Kia Sorrento.
Kia Sorrento. No, seriously, like, at the end of that movie, I'm sorry, this guy who owns the second most fucking... Look at our world today, where we have police people dragging people out of planes for corporate interests. Okay? For corporate interests, you have a man getting his head smashed against a fucking armchair and dragged out of a plane. You have a woman who is, like, corporations do so much horrible shit. Like, they takes advantage and fucking arrest people for nothing. And this was second most powerful man in the world. And he has a gun and the cops arrest him. That's not realism, dude. That is not reality. In reality, maybe because the other guy, the other corporate dude, told them to arrest him. Maybe that's the only reason. Like,
White privilege didn't.
No, seriously, because that's the only way I could think about it. Is the okay, so Halliday's
Well,
partner.
everything is being broadcast.
Yeah.
Like the whole end of the game is
but
being
it doesn't
broadcast.
matter. Like, if this guy, first of all, the corporate guy. Another thing that's, like, unrealistic. Where did all the guns go in the United States? Did they give... I guess they must have sold them to play the game. Because when this fucking corporate guy comes out with this gun, they're like, get out of here. He waves his gun in the air, and it's all of a sudden a crowd of more than 1,000 people, or at least 100 or something people. I don't know. Not 1,000 people. A couple hundred people. Fucking... part like the Red Sea and allow him to walk towards a child that he's about to shoot in the face. That felt ridiculous. The end of this movie was ridiculous.
No, and the whole point is that they went there because thought they would have protection.
Exactly.
Or some sort of edge there.
Exactly. But it just, like, you start to see the pieces unraveling in this film, in the world building. Like, so Halliday's partner, Ogden, who he bought all his shares out and basically became his own lone wolf, Halliday, comes at the end of the movie and is all grandfatherly and is played by Simon Pegg. And Simon Pegg doesn't do a bad job. He's only in there for, like, 2 minutes.
But,
like,
why the fuck, if you're gonna make a big reveal that he was
alive the whole time,
the curator, or whatever.
Yeah, the curator is the guy that runs the Halliday halls, basically. So the guy that was his old partner is in charge of all the memories of his brain.
He's hanging out and helping people
rifle through his friend's thoughts.
Rifle through his friend's version of
his
their
life.
history.
Yeah.
And he's rewatching his own life, bits of his old life over and over
again. Really
with
disturbing.
strangers.
Yeah, really disturbing.
With no idea of how this will play into the context.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just really disturbing. It's really unsettling. Like, I'm sorry. Like, and
does that mean him and Halliday hooked up at the end again? and were friends at the end.
No, Halliday's dead, remember?
I know, but Halliday obviously, like,
as a version
created
of
a curator.
Yeah.
And gave him the password
Maybe
and said...
Maybe he speaks to him in the game?
And said, hey, here, log in, you can be the curator. You
I
can
don't
help
know.
people
Like,
out.
honestly, the movie was messy. It was a mess. And, like, you start to pick apart these world-building pieces
and
that are not minor details. This is real, crucial plot shit for me to believe it. And I didn't. And it was a mess, and it was all over the place. And then at the end, the control of this corporation goes to 5 people. An 11-year-old, and some people
an older, cuter Asian boy.
An older, cuter Asian boy.
A girl,
a Japanese
a
boy.
Black
a
girl,
black girl. And the Artemis. And, yeah. So, like...
White Watts.
So, basically, to sum up, I felt like this movie, like, was like, especially since the ending idea of this movie was just get off your phones for a while, was basically, like, because...
On Tuesday.
I understand that the idea is you can't just fix the world with a light switch. But it would have been nice to have been able to see them taking some of the money and investing it into the community. Exactly. Like, we started investing
community building.
Exactly. We started investing in the community, not just we told people to get off the game and figure it out for themselves, which is what they kind of sounded like they were saying. That was really fucked up.
Well,
so, like,
we make out in our nice apartment now.
So there was no ability. Exactly. So now he has a nice apartment. It doesn't matter what happens to anybody else. And so they felt like it felt like the Oasis is supposed to be the idea that, okay, people believe in this Oasis, so they built a community. So then when they take them out of the Oasis for Tuesdays and Thursdays, they're going to try to make them build that community in the real world to help each other. And, like, none of that felt cohesive at all.
I don't know.
And then so my okay, I'm sorry, what were you saying?
No. Finish this.
No, so I was going to say, so my wrap-up thoughts, so just a couple other rapid-fire things. One, the character of H, even though I loved her, was a magical Negro, because she modded everybody's shit and built everyone's fancy stuff, and even though she gets a cool robot at the end, she's the magical Negro. Absolutely.
And she's scared of horror movies.
She's scared of horror movies.
And she sent all the right emails at the right time.
Exactly. Like,
when we needed her to.
She always... Okay, yeah, like, the characters of color in this story were fucking done a poor service.
Fucking the Asian kids are so thin as characters. Every moment about them is about how Asian they are. That they
shocked.
Have to bow.
I'm shocked they
and
even
say,
had dialogue.
Ninjas don't hug.
I'm shocked
like,
they even
come
had.
on.
I'm shocked they even had dialogue. That's how fucking thin and stereotypical they were. And like H, it was a nice surprise because H in the game it has a male avatar, and it was a nice surprise to see that H was a woman or a girl, really, because she was a girl. She was young.
I expected her to be a black guy.
Yeah.
Or
no, yeah. I actually expected her to be that chubby black dude, that comedian. The one from Forgetting Sarah Marshall. I feel like that's who did the voice. I think that's who did the voice of her avatar.
Yeah, maybe.
Because remember him? I know 100 different ways to say fish. Like, I loved that guy. Like, I think he might have done the voice. I would have to look it up, but I think he might have done the voice of her avatar. But then in the real world, like, she had her own voice. And like, I liked H that she was revealed that she was a girl, but just the very fact that she was such a magical Negro, like, always giving our white main character Wade Watts the advice. She was the funny black friend. Mm-hmm. Like, she was the like funny comedic black friend that was scared of horror movies. That, like, black people don't like horror movies, and black people and then the idea. Okay, yeah. Oh, it's so cool she can model the stuff, but then it puts her in this role of like magical Negro because she always has like the right fix for the right second to fix everything and fix
then also,
the white people's
at the
world.
end, she's like the big, strong,
exactly,
gonna hold the biggest monster back.
Exactly. And then she becomes like monstrous and
then,
fucking. I mean,
and then I'm sure maybe it's a really dope move if you're an Asian kid and you see this, but the Asian kid's super move is he's gonna go super Gundam Asian,
yeah, like Mobile Suit Gundam,
like the irony is, was there any option that would have been less Asian? If he had been Ultraman, would that have been less Asian?
But here's part of the problem too: is
if he was a Power Ranger,
what's more frustrating too is the fact that like these characters were meant to become his friends, and they don't get enough
much,
development
yeah.
at all. Like,
I don't know shit about
they
them.
just show up. They're H's friends, and then they show up, and it's like, okay, well, H thinks they're cool, and H has been with Wade since the beginning, so obviously we have to think that they're cool. But they do, for most of the movie, they don't even get dialogue. They get very little to say, which is that silent Asian stereotype. And in their avatars, they say very little. So it's that Asian stereotype. Then, I mean, even worse, the Japanese kid knows martial arts. So you're telling me that this kid who spends the entirety of his life in a video game.
Every reveal of him was
more stereotype.
More stereotypical Asian.
Like, you're talking...
Like, I joked at her after he started fighting Kung Fu in the real world. I was like, he's gonna end this movie and say, now that we've saved the Oasis, I'm going to Tokyo Disney and I'm gonna eat a sushi roll.
No, and it's just the idea that, like, this kid that's literally spending his entire life in a video game has somehow made time to learn karate or whatever the fuck martial arts style he was doing. Like, it's just so ridiculous. And, like, you start picking it apart and it becomes more and more ridiculous. And then let's get to Artemis, because that was fucking hysterical. Okay, so Artemis is the female lead, the co-lead with Wade Watts. And he meets her in the game, and he falls in love with her. And she has a very, like, good kind of idea that, like, she tells him, like, you're not in love with me, you're in love with the idea of me. Which never, by the way, gets developed any further than that. Because...
She gives up on it.
Because they give up on it. Because when he meets her in real life, she is everything that he expected her to be anyway.
And she's exactly the same.
She's exactly the same.
As what she presented to him.
She's almost exactly the same. Yes, she's not purple and doesn't have spiky hair. But, like, okay, you present this concept that possibly this could be a guy, this could be anybody, whatever, and then she says, you're not who I expect you to be. I'm thinking, oh, what if she's disabled? What if she's fat? You know, like, I'm thinking, that's my other big problem with this movie, is that outside of the Oasis, they were not brave at all. There was no bravery in how they told these characters' stories. This girl is all like, you wouldn't want to see me outside in the real world, hiding her face. Do you guys want to know what her giant, horrifying deformity is? She has a port wine birthmark. Port wine stain
over
birthmark.
her eye.
Now, I don't know if you guys know what a port wine stain birthmark is, but it tends to be a birthmark that's very dark, usually maroon in color, and yes, it can be a big part of your body or a small part. It can be very little, it can be very large, depending. And she has it over her eye. First of all, her port wine stain birthmark is light enough that in certain light, you don't even notice it. And second of all, she's thin. She is pretty as fuck, okay? And
no,
like
her head's too big, and she's
like
too short.
She talks about her body, and like her body is thin and white-centric. She's white Europe-centric features. She's pretty. She just has a slight discoloration on her eye, and that makes her enough to hide her face from him, and him going, oh, and it being a virtue of his to look at her and go, it's just a birthmark, it's not a big deal. Like, they use that to make it a virtue into his character. Yeah. And I said, how fucking cowardly. I got, like, upset in the movie when I saw her, and I'm like, oh. Because I knew the actress, I'd seen her in the trailers, and I had only seen her with her hair over her face, so I knew that she wasn't going to be fat or something, but I thought maybe she's disabled, or maybe something else is going on.
You know what would have been more fucked up? If she would have had some sort of, like, surgery scars on her body because her dad sold her organs for credit or some shit.
Yeah,
like,
that's
what
dark.
the fuck? I know, but that would have been something, like, real.
Like maybe, exactly. Like, I wanted, it's just, I'm sorry, and the truth of the matter is, I don't even want to use disability.
Like, not even real. Like, something that's less, like, it felt like she is just another treasure for him to unlock in his life that is so cheap.
Exactly. And the thing is that it's so upsetting that this is what they're presenting to girls, because this really, as much as this movie, I'm sorry, and this is part of the problem too with this movie, is that it is a muddled idea of who it's selling itself to. Obviously, there's so much 80s and 90s shit in here as to have to be somehow targeted towards me and people in my generation, but I guess it's for people in me and my generation with kids, And so you're selling this to kids. So you're telling kids that a Port Weinstein birthmark is like something to be like ashamed of, and that it's such a big fucking deal when he looks at her and goes, it's not a big deal. Such absolute cowardice. Make her fat. Make her fat. Make her fucking a different, I don't know, make her something. Make her black. Make her black. Make her fat. Make her fat and black. Make her something else. Make her like not this conventionally Eurocentric pretty white girl. No, you didn't do that because you're not really brave. And your idea of what bravery is, but him overcoming her hideous birthmark, quote unquote, is such fucking like ego, just like so enraging. Like I was just so disgusted.
So Wade Watts. Wade Watts could have been anybody.
Could have been anyone.
Could have been cast as anyone.
Could have been cast as anyone.
Halliday could have been cast as anyone.
Yep.
Could have been
None
cast
of
as
these
anybody.
people. None of these people needed to be white. And the fact
But everyone was.
And everyone was. Everyone that was.
Except for the side characters.
Everyone that was not a side character was. And so there it goes again. Another story of a white kid inheriting the adventure of the white. And she even looks at him at one point and goes, Wait, you're the one who can save us all. Like, fuck, dude. Like, and then that's the thing. Is that I thought, okay, could they use this message?
Oh my god, wouldn't it have been amazing if he unlocked like the Jesus avatar at that one moment? And walked on the water when the ice broke.
But like it's kind of like, and the thing too is that if you could take that message of only he could unlock Halliday's mind because only he could understand a mind like Halliday, but then like turn that around so that it becomes like, oh fuck, like we should not hold the keys to this fucking kingdom. Like this kingdom should belong to all because people like you and me holding the keys to this kingdom are not the fucking solution. No, that's not what fucking happened. It's just him and his 5 friends, who of course are gonna fucking do what he wants. That's the worst part, is that they became so fucking, like, every one of those characters, including her, became this fucking support system for him, over and over and over again. So none of what they believed in mattered anymore. Nothing.
And even when... Like,
how was winning the fucking thing gonna close the loyalty centers? How was that gonna close loyalty centers? Remember how Artemis said, "Oh, I want to win so that IOI can't take over and we can stop the loyalty centers."
They did.
They did because they did only because Ogden
suggested it.
And here's my problem: Ogden's been sitting there the whole fucking time.
Nothing shit.
And why hasn't he closed them before? How dare you allow something like this to exist in your fucking world? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, all of this movie's a fucking mess, and we're supposed to take it at face value that, oh, look at these rich white men being so charitable and giving, and oh, now this
they're
white
gonna give everything back when they're dead.
Like, what the
when they're dead,
fuck?
they'll save us.
What the fuck?
When they're dead, they'll stop fucking over the world.
Like, none of it made sense. IOI didn't have control over the Oasis, so why these loyalty centers existed and no one did anything about them before?
I think they control the hardware or something.
No, they didn't. Did they?
No, because they sold the suits. They sold the X1s.
Oh, okay.
So they control the hardware.
Oh,
so
okay.
they're like connected to the game. They're auxiliary to the game.
Oh, okay. But they just made it seem like somehow he took over IOI. I'm like, but he didn't take over IOI. So confusing, so poorly fucking constructed. Like, I was not. And like, yeah, like, no bravery. Oh, by the way, 30 seconds into this movie, there's a fat joke. Because there's a fat girl on a stripper pole. Ha ha ha, how hilarious that a fat girl would want to see herself as beautiful and sexy. How fucking hilarious. Wade's aunt was a total redneck 80s trash stereotype.
That's where I got, like, the first ding of the movie was, like, his whole familiar situation is like a Simpsons Cletus family. And the whole, like, I was trying to figure out if, like, maybe the story was going to go that the game had gotten so unfocused, so the purpose of the game, or the purpose of the quest, was to find focus in life again. But the more we search for an actual constructive meaning to the film, the less the film wants to give it to you.
Yes.
The more it wants to be just cheap,
and as
dumb.
far as I'm concerned, I could have watched a 30-minute movie of Iron Giant fighting Mecha Godzilla, fighting Mobile Suit Gundam.
In a DeLorean King Kong race.
And a DeLorean King Kong race. I could have watched a 20-minute... It felt... That's the best part. Those parts just felt like a video game trailer. And all the exciting parts of all the characters you want to see go by so quickly that you miss it. Mm-hmm. And I know what they're trying to tell me. Oh, you have to watch this movie again. And I hate to break it to you, Steven Spielberg. I'm never fucking watching this movie ever again. Like, fuck this movie. The more I examine it, the more...
I'll never watch it again. I'm definitely going to watch clips of the fuck out of this shit.
Yeah, clips. But I'm never watching this in its entirety again.
DeLorean Tokyo Drifting is...
Yes, and of course, exactly. The exciting part of the movie, the parts of the action were exciting.
But even that feels like a fuck you.
Yeah.
Because it's like, really, the only way I'm going to get to see, like, Back to the Future again is if it's in service to
this other movie.
Fucking, like, bullshit message I don't give a shit about.
I really felt like this movie... It felt like an old man wrote this movie. And it felt like there's a Facebook group I'm shouting out called What If Phones But Too Much that likes to make fun of this kind of panic that they have for millennials and then what the new Generation Z or whatever this generation's called. Like the panic of us using our phones all the time and being on social media. This movie felt like one of those people that made that meme made this movie. Mm-hmm. And yes, of course, visually, it is delightful looking. Like, it is very engaging. The oasis is beautiful. Who wouldn't want to fucking live in that world? Like, fucking play and go into a club where you can float around and fucking do whatever you want.
No, and you wear a suit where you feel people touching your dick.
Touching your dick. Like, you get everything in there, man. And that was the other creepy thing, too. Was it
Where do you pee? Where do you poop?
No, but yes. No, but the other thing, too, is kind of like, yeah, exactly. Where do you pee and poop? Do you not pee and poop?
You poop in the suit?
And, no, but the other thing, too, is that Holiday, like, he said, like, no adult avatars in his brain. So it's like he had this very stunted growth.
Well, I think he didn't want, like, somebody perving and doing, like, disrespectful things to his memory of himself.
Some stuff didn't sit. Yeah, it didn't sit well. It's like stuff. And, like, it would have been cool, okay, if the message was, oh, is he asexual, or that he's you know what I mean? Like,
or he was gay
romantic.
For Ogden or some shit.
Exactly.
That would have been an amazing twist if it was actually
that's the other problem.
You know, I always wanted Ogden.
There was no fucking bravery in this movie. Like, at one point, there's a very impressive looking sequence in the Shining movie, where you literally go into the Shining movie and it's like a video game. And
you go through each gag.
Room 237, the old creepy woman becomes a zombie witch with a giant knife trying to stab you. And at the end of the level, when they discover what it is the fact that, okay, even more creepy, this is kind of disturbing. Holiday was in love with his partner's wife that he went on one unsuccessful date with. And he still named her fucking game avatar. She never even used her real name. You know what I mean? Like, Kira. He kept calling her Kira. Her name was not Kira. Her name was Karen. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so he was in love with her desperately so much in his whole life that he turned it into a level in the game where she was forever floating, this avatar of her, in a sea of zombies dancing with her.
Tormented.
Until someone found her. And then, so that's disturbing enough. But then, what the cop-out is, the whole time he says, the whole time they realize, he never kissed the girl. That's the thing he didn't do. He never kissed the girl. And that's the thing. So, interestingly, Artemis is the one that unlocks that level. And gets there first. And instead of having a brave moment of these two female characters kissing, right? She just takes her hand and oh, there you go, here's your key, who cares? The whole build-up was that you needed to kiss Kira. The whole build-up was he was too afraid
or
to kiss.
at least dance. You just asked to dance, and then it was like, unlock, boom.
Like,
Come on.
But no, they specifically said
Kiss,
kiss.
I know, they said kiss.
Even if it was a kiss on the cheek, the point is she didn't even fucking kiss her. Because they were so gay panic afraid of fucking having a lesbian kiss. Or a same-sex kiss. I don't even say lesbian. A same-sex kiss in that fucking movie. How fucking chicken shit of you, Steven Spielberg. How fucking chicken shit. You literally had somebody say fucking. You had one use of the word fucking. You used your one use for your PG-13 movie. Yeah, because when he said, it's fucking Chucky, that's what he said. When Chucky came out, he goes, it's fucking Chucky. And that was why all the guys started laughing.
That pissed me off.
Yeah.
That they didn't have Chucky say, hi, I'm Chucky.
Yeah.
Do you want to play with me?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's Chucky's line. Give him Chucky's line.
No, but, like, the thing is, too, they used their one curse word in their PG-13 movie, but they weren't brave enough to use their fucking same-sex kiss. Or whatever the fuck. I'm just, my problem with this movie is that it pretended to be brave, and it's not brave. Having 100 lawyers make sure that you can have Hello Kitty and the Overwatch characters in the same fucking movie is not bravery. That's just good fucking business. And all those corporations got a fucking piece of the pie. So the entirety of whatever the fuck, if there is a more anti-capitalist message in the Ready Player One book, dude, the guy who wrote this, what's his name?
Ernest Cline.
You fucking lost it, bro. This was a sellout from A to Z, and I was appalled. And the sad part is, the fanboys in the audience ate it up. They clapped at the end. They ate it the fuck up. Because you know why? They paid attention to one thing. Oh my god, Mobile Suit Gundam fighting, Mechagodzilla fighting, Iron Giant fighting, blah. That's all they wanted to pay attention to. But I watched this movie and I felt no emotional connection. I felt anger at the laziness of the world building, and I felt anger at whatever kind of message you were trying to convey, because I did not like it.
Damn, Chicken Nugget is fucking seething.
This is honestly the worst movie Steven Spielberg's ever done for me. Like, for me, this is my least favorite of his movies. Least fucking favorite.
Whoa, Underneath the Terminal. Suck it, Tom Hanks. You're the winner now.
I liked The Terminal.
I've been your host, Steve. I want to see the DeLorean scenes again. So that's where I am. I thought it was not worth a movie ticket price.
No.
Full price. Or just wait till it's on HBO. Watch it on HBO. Don't get too excited. It's not going to change the world. If it was going to change the world, it was going to be out in the summer. This is why this movie came out in late March. Chicken Nugget.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so sorry that you're not going to be in Ready Player 2. You just killed all your chances with that review right now.
I did.
Damn it. Morty Zena, Duke Rusty, ZZZZZ, exactly as I thought. Please tweet us at Vundacast or at Vundablog.
To yell at me and tell me how much you hate my opinion. It's cool.
Check us out on Mondays at radiate.fm. That's www.radiate, radiate.fm. And where they broadcast the Vundacast on Mondays there and blast dope music 7 days a week, 24/7. Also, be sure to email us and leave us a 5-star review on the iTunes, because that is what we care about.
Totally.
And as I said in a previous podcast, I was going to read our iTunes reviews on air. I'm going to read one iTunes review.
You got one?
We have. No, it's not a fresh one. It's an old... It's an old one. I'm going through our back catalog now.
Oh, jeez.
Until we have a fresh review. We currently have a 5 out of 5 rating, though. A perfect rating on iTunes.
Great.
Which is really great. That's probably the highest. That is the highest rating.
We'll probably have less if anybody
3
really
years
loved this
ago.
movie.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
The Overwhelmed Brain gave us 5 stars. Title
Thank
of
you,
the review.
Overwhelmed Brain.
Fun show! ! Movies, TV, all the stuff that helped me get out of stress. Great rapport with the hosts, and really good topics.
Sweet.
Cool! ! You heard it from the Overwhelmed Brain, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, kids, when you are going to build your Easter egg into your game, make sure you spell your name right. Don't fuck that shit.
Vundacast? Give it up for Vundacast, man. What an adorable name.